Excuse me, I did not mean to do that. Good morning, Europe. I hope you're well. I actually thought I muted the mic and then I cleared my throat. Good morning. Hope you're well. How are you? It's good to be here with you. The markets will open in approximately a minute or so. According to my counter, a minute and 20. Okay, so we should be up and running. We got the overnight range. We can see that the DAX is trading around where it closed yesterday. And here we go. The markets in Europe are open. Today is the 16th of September, and we got some maybe important news out of Germany, the German ZEW. And here's the FTSE. Quite an orderly overnight range. I see here that I should have updated my own software version. So it could look like we're going to have a first bar negative in the FTSE. And the DAX is also trading down below the overnight range. This is the daily chart of the DAX. And here's the weekly chart of the DAX. I think you would call that, it's coiling. And others would say that the market went down to see where the orders were. Orders to buy, orders to sell. David Paul spoke about this, talking about how there was liquidity at the just outside where the old highs and lows were. I'd like to show you something. This is a 10-minute chart of the DAX. And these are the FOMC dates. So if I put them here, oh, wasn't able to do that. Why won't let me do that? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so if we're looking up the the 30th of July, which is the day of the FOMC statement, you can see that the DAX really big movement come the following day. But of course, we're interested in somewhat on, well, what did the DAX do on the day before? And that's this one here, the 29th, which is the Tuesday. Buyers did indeed step in the FTSE below the overnight range. And you got a first bar negative, but it closed off its lows. So this is the DAX on the day before the FOMC announcement back in July. And you can see here we had a decent trend day from 24,000 up to 50, and the break of the first 10-minute bar seemed to be a decent idea. Before that, the next FOMC announcement was on the 18th of June, and that's this one here. And of course, we're interested in the one the day before because today is the Tuesday. Actually, let me just pause that for a second because we may have a buy coming in the FTSE. Please stand by. I'm going to change that from 25 to 20. So please stand by. I want to be a buyer of the FTSE below 9264.7. There we go. I just bought the FTSE. I tell myself that sometimes I can sense when the FTSE is going to go lower, but I still go ahead and execute the trade. Annoying, because frequently in the FTSE I have to fight so hard just to get 7 points, and now I'm 13 points offside already. I would like to be a buyer of the DAX down here at the old low, so please stand by. I'm long the DAX down at the low of the overnight range, sorry, the trading range that we're seeing here. Let me just post that in Telegram. Move the stop loss in the DAX already. So this is the DAX on the day before the FOMC announcement. Had a really hard push down, and then a recovery where we went below the 2 days prior low. That'd be nice if that's what we just witnessed here. Before that, it was 7th of May. Of course, we're looking at the 6th of May, which is this one here, and we have a really significant downtrend. So I'm going to move my stop loss up. I might just move my stop loss to up to break even in the DAX now. I bought at 62, the low was 54. That's not a bad entry. tell you what my gut feel is. Close them both. I think the odds of being stopped out on the DAX for nothing is big. And I don't like the way that the FTSE is trading. That's my gut feel. I'm not saying I'm listening to my gut feel, but that's what my gut feel is telling me. Usually when the FTSE does, how it traded through my buy entry, it just sliced right through it. I think I'm gonna close them both. Closed DAX. Close the FTSE. Well, there's my I don't know about you, but I'm thinking if we should take a break of 23,654 in the DAX. I think I'll do it in a smaller size, and then I can add bigger size if I feel there's weakness coming. So I'm going to put a sell order in. I'll put it at 5.5. The FTSE retreating as well. So I put an order in to sell the DAX, but in smaller size, 23,655. I'm kind of inspired by the Tuesday price action on previous occasions, such as this one here. This is a 10-minute chart of the DAX back in May on the Tuesday before the FOMC Wednesday. Now, you could say, okay, my gut feel aside, I would have been stopped out on that DAX trade anyway, so me closing it early actually made me some points I wouldn't have made otherwise. Let's take a look at another one. The one before that is the 19th of March. So here's the 19th of March. That's the Wednesday, so obviously we need to look at the 18th of March, which is this one here. You have a big push higher for 40 minutes, and the retracement, and another push, so a decent upside. Before that, it was the 29th of January. I don't know if you find this useful at all, but considering I can't ask you all, I'm just hoping that you do find it of some use. So we're looking at the 29th of January, but of course we are looking at the day before. And the day before, the 28th of January, which I just want to make sure I double check, is a Tuesday, and it is. So here the DAX trades below the first 10 minutes and declines for about 30 minutes. And then it has a reversal and a really good trend higher. The FTSE has just blasted through my original buy entry, proving me wrong about my gut. December 18th is the next one. So this is the Wednesday, the 18th of December. So obviously we want to look at the DAX the day before, because today's Tuesday. We have a bull bar, we got a bear bar, and then we got a reversal and retest. So that's also a possibility of what we're witnessing right now. In about 9 minutes time, we're going to have the school run. And it seems as if the traditional school run would have worked very well. The DAX is rallying quite strongly. Let me just show you that. It'll be interesting to see if the aggressive school run actually triggers, or there's sellers coming in around 687. My order hasn't been filled. And as you can see, my long entry in the FTSE around 64 that's where it is right now. As a reference point, I think I like to just do a nominal size as a reference. So okay, if I had kept it, it's good for the nervous system to have not a hypothetical reminder, but an actual monetary reminder, even if it's a small size. I'm not going to post this in Telegram because it's not really a meaningful trading size in the FTSE. But it's to demonstrate to me, all right, can you trust your gut or not? Notice here how the DAX exactly went above the prior bar high. You see the prior bar high is 687. You can read that inside the box. And notice it went 689. and we're now trading lower. So I'm quite comfortable with having my order there. But of course, there's also a chance that we're going to get a school run trigger down here. How far did we get? I think we were in December last year. The next one was the 7th of November. That's coming up now. The DAX was trading in the 19,000. I think my DAX order is just about to be filled. It is. So let me just do it very quickly. So this is the 7th of November. That's it. So this is the actual day of the equivalent of today. There you see you have a pretty decent move higher, and then a reversal and a trend day. So let me just show you what's going on. In the DAX, I triggered a short in the DAX. Change this to a 10-minute chart. So I placed a sell order in half size at the lows. Just bear with me 1 second. Thank you. So the DAX traded as low as 42. I would seem to have been right about my gut feel so far in the FTSE. All right. So we have 2 minutes left of the school run bar. And what you notice here is that we got 2 negative bars, a 30-minute worth of trading. Got a tiny little position in the DAX. But it's growing. just to let you know that on this little reference point trade, I've moved the stop loss up just below the last low. So this is what it looks like. Just put it there. Now the focus is on the DAX, and that's the school run bar that is triggered. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say that that's the school run bar complete. The 15th minute, we have a negative and a negative. And my little position is now sort of in and out. Just want to remind you of the yesterday's closing price, which was at 23,748. So the DAX is down about 100 points. Now I had a thought what we could do. Instead of doing FOMC, we could do the ZEW days. So the last one was the 12th of August. And that's this one here. And there's a very nice trend building after the first hour of trading. Before that, it was the 15th of July. There's this one here. There's a much more range bound. You have down, you have up, and you have down again. And generally a decent trend day, but interrupted with the US Open. And before that was the 17th of June. It's this one here. Again, less trendy and incredible tight trading range during the mid-morning, a break, and then a relief rally. Wouldn't have been easy to trade this at all. And before that, which is the 13th of May, coming up here. I think we can agree that that's everybody's idea of a nightmare. And then before that, it was the 15th of April. That's this one here. Let me just double check that date. 15th of April, indeed. That's this one here. Very orderly market. Higher. And then a reversal. And then lower. Let's take a couple of more. Before that, it was the 18th of March. That's more tradable. Up, retracement, up. And finally, 18th of February, then I'm done. Oh, I think I went too far there. There we go. There's the 18th of February. A decent trend in the morning. So that's it. That's what previous times have shown us. Now it just becomes a question of what shall we do? I have a 50% position in the DAX. Decided not to be so aggressive yet. I wish I could talk with all of you right now. Please don't feel this is an invitation to write to me. I don't want to be inundated with messages, but I wish I could talk to you right now and say, how do you read this market? I'm just going to add a little bit to that DAX here at 43. I haven't posted this on Telegram, so if you are, can you just see that I've added a little bit to this DAX. This is a 15-minute chart, and the official school run won't trigger until we trade below 25. I don't know if you heard that. I think you did. So I think we'll bet on the DAX pushing lower, so adding a little bit more. It's a good exercise in its own right. You love it when we push the agenda, but here, I wouldn't say it's an odd morning. I'd say that it's the eyes that reads it that are odd, i.e. my eyes. So we didn't trigger the official school run either. Do you see that? Haven't actually triggered yet. Has to trade below 25. And it went at 28 and now 20. Yeah, 28 again. Ah, shit. Sorry. So sorry. Interesting to see how the FTSE is ignoring the DAX. You know, the DAX hasn't actually triggered the school run. It has to trade at 25. It traded 26. I've just realized it's one of those fire alarms that doesn't have a replaceable battery. So did it trigger? Did it? 25.2 versus 25.6. Suppose it did. Now it did. Anyway, we're already short. Not overly big size, but we're short. That's how it looks on my trading account. So buyers coming. I'm just gonna look at a slightly larger time frame and see. It does look terribly range bound, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? If I remove all of these, there we go. This is the hourly chart of the DAX. There's no mistaking here that we are in a trading range. I wonder if we could see a test of 23,600, which would be sort of down here, this area here. I think it's doable. Let's get the numbers back up again. So my last add-on is now losing me. You know, if the FTSE traded back up to 65, I wouldn't consider being a buyer more aggressively. Buyers came in. So you could look at this pragmatically and say, right now, the ante is working better in the school run. I think my average entry is 47. So I'm actually losing in the DAX now. What I want to see to be persuaded to close my position, where you can sort of have a look at any number of reversal days. So for example, let's look at the the 19th of March. Hang on, let me just double check I'm doing this right. Sorry, 18th of Feb. If we use the 18th of February as our guide, what could we say constituted a reversal? Well, we could argue we have a strong negative open. Then we have 30 minutes of the market being indecisive. Don't worry, I see what the DAX is doing. I am on it. But I'm interested in, at what point do we decide that's it? Well, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4 bearish 10-minute bars. And then here we get a bullish bar and we begin to close above that. Close above it here and here. We can take one more. I will keep an eye on the DAX, of course. So this was we can do the 18th of March. On the 18th of March, you have 4 bull bars, but then you have quite a significant bear bar, but you got no follow through. And then you trend higher and you make new highs. And then you have a top. Didn't know that, but then we begin to close below. That to me is always significant. Be fun to see the 15th of April. So this is the 15th of April. I picked these dates out of the Forex Factory calendar. This is the day of previous SETI announcements. So maybe there's a chance that what we are witnessing this morning is basically this kind of pattern, but in reverse. We're trending lower, but we keep probing the highs and the lows of the prior bar. And then over here, you actually get a close below a prior bar, and then another close. Sure does feel like the market is not overly committed to neither the downside nor the upside, and it's more drifting. And the FTSE, well, the FTSE is more committed to holding. You know, as decisions go, it wasn't the worst decision in the world to trade this in smaller size. I wouldn't have liked to execute this in big size and then sit in this somewhat indecisive market. I'll admit to you, there's a part of me that just says, yeah, screw this. I'm out of here. But this kind of pattern, don't you think that we're going to see a retest of the lows? Just wanted to show you the FTSE. I could show you the DAX right now. So this is the DAX this morning. And you sort of think that from a conventional TA point of view, could this be on the cards? I've closed my DAX. Sorry, folks. Closed it. It's not that I don't think that we could go lower, but I think I'm just going to step aside. It seems like a very slow morning. I can go and do something else. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear plenty and see plenty of me this week with the FOMC, so I think we're going to call it a morning, a slow morning. And yeah, that's the decision I'm going to make. So if you do trade this, good luck. I'm not saying that the downside isn't possible, but I'm stepping aside. So you stay strong, and I will see you for the US session, okay? You look after yourself. All the very best. Stay strong. Love you lots. Bye-bye.